Welcome to this video on quantum dynamics and time-dependent perturbation theory. We will explore the mathematical framework used for understanding state transitions and evolution in quantum systems. Most quantum systems are not isolated. They constantly interact with external forces like light and magnetic fields, which change over time. These interactions can cause a particle to jump between energy levels. Time-dependent perturbation theory is crucial because it explains phenomena like spectroscopy, how lasers govern stimulated emission, and calculating nuclear spin transitions in NMR imaging. We begin with part 1, the system setup. Here we define the known, unperturbed system and the external influences. We start with baseline knowledge, the unperturbed Hamiltonian H0. We already know its stable energy levels, En, and its fixed wave functions, psi-n. This is our foundation. Next, we introduce the external influence, a small, time-varying potential, h' of t. The total Hamiltonian h of t is the sum of h0, and this perturbation. We assume h' is much smaller than h0. The entire system state must obey the time-dependent Schrödinger equation. Our goal is to find how the total state, big psi, changes over time due to the perturbation. Now we move to part 2, the derivation, focusing on the step-by-step mathematical flow. Step 1 is basis expansion. We write the general state as a sum of the stable energy states, using time-dependent coefficients c-n of t. These coefficients represent the probability amplitude of being in that state. In step 2, we substitute this expansion into the Schrödinger equation. The time derivative now acts on both the internal phase and the coefficient Cn. Step 3 is simplification. Many terms cancel because the unperturbed part satisfies the stationary equation. We are left with an equation linking the rate of change of our coefficients to the perturbation. Step 4, picking a state. By multiplying from the left by a specific state Braun and using orthogonality, we isolate the rate of change for coefficient c-m. We define the transition frequency, omega mn, which represents the natural frequency associated with the energy gap between states m and n. This is the root of quantum resonance. This leaves us with the coupled equations. This exact set of coupled differential equations is generally too difficult to solve without approximation. Part 3 addresses the approximation, where we solve the problem order by order. We use the method of orders, expanding the coefficients in a power series of a small parameter, lambda. Order 0 is the initial state, and higher orders are successive corrections. Order 0 assumes no change. If the particle started in state I, the initial state coefficient Ci is 1, and all others are 0. For order 1, we calculate the first jump. We plug the 0th order results back in, and the rate of change of Cm depends only on the direct perturbation from the initial state I to the target state M. Solving for probability involves integrating the rate of change from time 0 to t. The result is the first order transition amplitude, showing how much the particle has transitioned into state M. We now move to part 4, physical interpretation, exploring what the mathematics reveals about the quantum process. The lab result. The probability of finding the system in state M is the magnitude squared of the transition amplitude. This number is what is measured in experiments. Rule 1. Connectivity or matrix element necessity. If the matrix element H'Mi is 0, the transition is forbidden at first order. Selection rules based on symmetry dictate which jumps are allowed. Rule 2. Resonance. Transitions are most efficient when the external perturbation frequency matches the natural transition frequency omega mi. This frequency matching is crucial for driving transitions. In the special case of a sudden, constant perturbation, the transition probability oscillates. The peak probability becomes highly concentrated around the point where the energy gap is 0. For long times, the transition probability is only significant when energy is conserved. This leads to Fermi's golden rule, which relates the transition rate to the density of available final states. Part 5 focuses on the harmonic case, analyzing the system's interaction with oscillating fields. Light-matter interaction often involves a typical perturbation, which is a wave oscillating at a frequency, omega. The two paths of interaction are absorption, where the system gains energy and moves to a higher state, and emission, where the system releases energy and moves to a lower state. The mathematics reveals two resonant terms, one for absorption, peaking when the field frequency equals the energy gap, and one for stimulated emission, peaking at the negative gap. This explains the symmetry of light-matter interaction. We conclude with Part 6, Final Synthesis. The logic chain involves expanding the state in the unperturbed basis, using the time-dependent Schrödinger equation to find coefficient changes, approximating the solution, and integrating to find transition probabilities. The validity check reminds us that this first-order theory is only valid if the transition probability remains small. If the transition is highly likely, higher-order methods are needed. Our theory checklist emphasizes the importance of the matrix element, the natural frequency omega mn, the coefficients tracking state history, and the principle of unitarity, where total probability is conserved. Beyond one jump, what if a transition is forbidden at first order? Second-order theory describes a two-step jump through an intermediate virtual state, explaining complex processes like Raman scattering. As Heraclitus stated, everything is in a state of flux, and nothing is stationary. This perfectly contextualizes the dynamic nature of quantum systems. For a continuum of states, we calculate a transition rate per unit time, not just a single probability. This is the transition probability divided by time, as time goes to infinity. Selection rules, based on conservation laws like parity and angular momentum, often cause matrix elements to be zero, leading to forbidden transitions that are invisible in basic spectra. Our derivation implicitly used the interaction picture, where the unperturbed time evolution is handled by the states, and the dynamical change is handled by the operators. In conclusion, time-dependent perturbation theory is the workhorse of modern physics, bridging the gap between static atomic structures and the dynamic, interactive world we measure in the lab. Thank you for watching this video on exploring the quantum timeline. You can find more at the sources listed.